Hello. Good morning, guys. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. How was you guys this weekend? I didn't even go see Sinners. I couldn't get off the couch. And then I had some other stuff, some other errands I was running. And so I never made it to the movie. But I'm going to try to make it this week. I'm going to try. I'm going to see the movie. But yes, good morning, good morning. I'm on the highway. So that's good news. It's 7:29, and I'm not completely on the highway. I'm merging onto the highway now. But yeah. So speaking of Sinners, the movie, I heard that the Latino community is pissed because they feel like they were not included in the movie, and then they felt like, I guess Ryan Coogler was stealing from Dusk Till Dawn, which have them as like the villains, I guess, in whatever version they have. From Dusk Till Dawn is like a vampire movie that has been out since forever. So I'm not really sure what any of that's about. I didn't do the research to see, but from what I'm understanding, there's this idea of them being pissed and feeling like they weren't included. When's it going to be our turn? When's it going to be our turn? The question is, I guess for me, when I hear stuff like this, I'm always wondering, who are they asking this question to? Like, when is it going to be your turn? Who's supposed to provide that answer? Because it can't be black people. There's no way that that's a real question for black people. There's no way. This idea that you're supposed to be included in anything that we're doing, that's not how that works. There's an opportunity for everybody to do what they have to do, to push through, to fight through, to get through whatever system or industry, and do their thing from that. I mean, the whole purpose of black film, black school, is because obviously we were left out. And so, but of course, any strides that we make is always to the benefit of other people. And that has to be enough. But thinking that your old representation is just, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just out of control. And it's like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. But especially when you've overwhelmingly voted for us to be in a situation we're in at 60% plus. You know, we want to see you represent yourself first, and then you can worry about demanding someone to represent, I guess, you. Like, I'm just not going to understand. I'm not going to understand that. So, but yeah. Another week, y'all. Another week. Today is Monday. And I'm on my way to the office. Cross over these 13 lanes to get over. And then, okay, so I'm in my lane. So I should be getting to work on time today, unless there is some sort of crazy accident ahead of me that I don't know about yet. I need that community to just let it go, move on. Like, black people don't owe any group of people anything, to be honest. Not one group of people is owed anything. We out here still getting it out the mud, you know, and it is what it is. Everybody can't be included every time. I don't believe in that anyway. Everything is not for everybody. That's why when they said the word segregation, I was like, absolutely, but, you know, as long as African American people are not going to, you know, in other words, if they're going to put a sign up that says whites only, then we have to have a sign that says blacks only. It can't be. We got to do some gatekeeping. I'm a believer in gatekeeping for sure, and we need to do a better job at that. And so if there were to be like a white only sign, it needs to be a black only sign. You know what I mean? It can't just be, we created this and they burned it down. Okay, they burned it down, and then I want to know, what did we burn down after that? What happened after that? It can't just be perpetual victims. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, let's do it. As long as we ready to respond. That's my biggest thing. But yeah, so if they want some representation, the first thing they could do is go straight to Telemundo and have them show their representation. You want to see some Afro Latinos on Telemundo? I'd like to see that. That would be good to see. So they could start there. You guys do have your own representation in your channels and things like that, and it's nobody ever that's even my complexion or darker up there. Let's start there and not think that you're about to be in a blockbuster film with Latinos everywhere in a vampire. It's like, this wasn't a documentary. This is not, what are you talking about? It's a vampire film. I don't get it. So, and I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to understand it. So it's pointless. And that's just the bottom line when it comes to that. But yeah, I didn't do much over the weekend. Last week was actually as annoyed as I always am with the weeks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Last week was a good week for me. I got some really good news twice last week. And you know, of course, one of my main ones was that I'm going to be at the house for 2 days. Monday, Tuesday, I'll be at the office, and I'm considering if I'm going to still come on at 7:30 from my office at the house, and just be like, hey y'all, you know, maybe just check in still for consistency purposes, and to change the environment, you know, because that environment will be different for me if I do go live or do any, you know, recording from my desk at my house. If I do any recording there, then hey, Angel. Yeah, if I do anything like that, then that would be a different environment, but it will also give me the practice that I said I've been looking for. So if you notice that when I start speaking, I'm going to start trying to speak using, like, you see how I'm talking like this? Oh, making myself laugh so hard. But look, I want to try to talk and articulate my words, and then you're going to be saying, you're going to be looking, and you're going to be like, why are you talking like that? Why is your mouth moving like that? And we're all going to be dying, laughing, crying, and it's going to be because I'm trying to practice. You see how it's funny? I don't know if I can look at myself while I'm doing it because it's over the top, but or I'm just going to practice talking. As much as I be talking, I'm not a performer, so that's the biggest problem. I like to do one take, you know, whatever I say, I said, and then that's it. You know, so I don't know how good of an actor I would be unless I was like, hey, get that money out, as they say. But yeah, so I'm going to, I got 2 pieces of good news last week, and I'm very happy. I feel very happy, even though right now I am sleepy. You know, I wake up tired. I love laying down and having the remote under the blanket. That's people want to know what I do for fun. That's one of the main things. Chilling, minding my business. That's number one on my list. That's what I do. That's the number one thing I do for fun. You know? So yeah, it looks like I'm going to get to work at a decent time today. Look at that. I guess the people listen. Every time I'm coming through on Mondays, it seems like the people said they can't make it to work on Mondays, which I totally understand. Okay. Now this week, I'm supposed to so from now on, I'm supposed to still go to the office on Fridays. They did try to play me, and they gave me Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm not mad because you know what? A lot of people take off Fridays, so that means if I go to the office on Fridays, traffic should not be as bad, at least going in. And then, well, at least that's my expectation. You know, a lot of people like to take off Fridays. Of course, I definitely like to take off Fridays. Why? Why not? I like to extend my weekend. I would never forget one of my supervisors had pulled me to the side and was like, I noticed that every time, and hey girl, you know who you are. She my friend up here. She was like, I noticed that every time you take a day off, you take either Monday or Friday. So I'm like, right. And she's like, well, it seems like you're trying to extend your weekend. Right. I would never want it to seem like I'm trying to extend my weekend. I want it to be clear and obvious that I'm trying to extend my weekend. I'm always trying to extend my weekend. Of course, I take off on Fridays and Monday. Duh. Listen, I don't feel that kind of nervousness and fear. If I need a day off, it has to be one of those days so that I can have an extra day and it feels like it's a part of the weekend. Yes. Yes. You know, particularly I prefer Fridays. Why not? You know, I wasn't going to do much work anyway. Woo! I'm always talking about how I ain't doing this and I ain't doing that. And it's true. I'm not just talking about it, y'all. I really am about that life. I really, you know, be like rebelling. But listen, it is what it is, you know. But look at me. Let me do a couple of extra miles per hour. Let me get about 5 more miles per hour there. Because when I be talking, I notice I be cruising a little too hard. Be down to the 60s in the fast lane. But, you know, I guess everybody's tired this morning. And that includes me. But yeah, so I'm always trying to extend my weekends. That's a fact. It's actual and factual. So, yeah, what am I exiting? Okay, so I don't have much to talk about. Look at all these damn Teslas. Oh, it's just annoying every time I see one. Just, I wonder people who y'all, any of y'all got a Tesla? And how much did you sell it for? Because the people need a discount. Somebody just said to me, they was like, Dad, what are them trucks called? The Elon Musk truck, what's it called? Whatever. Somebody asked if they go on sale because it seemed like everybody had one. Only for me to read the article saying they did go down by like $10,000. So if you needed a car and that's all that was available, I guess you bought a piece of trash on wheels. I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but if they are offended, I mean, let's say what people normally say. That wasn't my intent. Look, 3-car pileup. But I'm glad it was off to the side, so I'm glad it didn't clog up my drive. Yeah. What am I gonna have for lunch, y'all? I'm already wanting to eat. Already. I'm also already ready to go. And I hadn't even touched down yet. It's all good though. From here on out, we're gonna make it a point to have a good day. Just today. You take the day. You gotta take it day by day. At first, I was gonna say we're gonna have a good week. That's the intent, right? But impact versus intent, and we talked about that last week. So rather than take it too far to the future, we'll take it day by day. The plan is to have a good day today, regardless. I suggest you guys always do the same, or always be looking in that direction of positivity, just trying not to allow any kind of unnecessary negativity onto the scene. It's supposed to be like cloudy all week. It's still in like the upper 70s, so we'll see. About to be dress season. Well, it's been dress season. It always is, to be honest. But my protest for my what's it? What's going on? We're gonna put that on a nice little pause because I want to wear Big Tina, and that's my kinky curly blonde. Oh, I love her. I gotta always debut that and feature that. And I don't wear my hair out a lot because right now I'm picking in it a lot. Picking in it way too much. And it's not mature. My locks are not mature. If I keep picking in it, it's going to thin it out and make it, shed and need a built-in fan for my wigs, honey, because it's hot. It's okay though, because I have my fans. I always have a fan on deck. It doesn't matter. Right here. Boom. Extra powerful too. I got this from what did I get this from? I'm assuming Amazon. Back when Amazon was real close. Look at my fans. I'll be like this. I was at Sophia Games last year. Got her and it was cheering. Just sitting there like, ooh, is this hot? It be hot. And I always gotta have a fan. Where them fans at? When they say where them fans at, this is the one I pull out. Pow, 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 pow. I pull out a real fan, a battery operated one, a fan that charges. Mine is always gonna be popping. Pop, pop. But yeah, so now I'm on the access road. Look at me, 15 minutes early. Look at me making up for time from last week. Okay, so I still got to show y'all how I did this one. It's almost similar to the cinnamon roll, except taking this one piece right here. Instead of going around and making the whole cinnamon roll, I just tuck it to the side. Give it a little style on the side, right? On the side. But yeah, look at me on the access road. Yes, this is good. This is good for today. I'm starting the week off early, and I'm gonna go ahead and catch this light right here. Oops. I was already in the cross section when it turned red. That's what I tell myself. / that's what I would tell the law. Like I was already moving. The car was already moving. You know, I would hit to step on my brakes and get like whiplash. Speaking of whiplash, when I took Sophia to that Pack and Play carnival, baby, I got on. She wanted to get on the ride so bad, and I was just like, I can't watch her be on a ride by herself. You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, dang, now I gotta suffer. So I got on the ride with her. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was screaming when the ride started right up until the end. I be hollering on the rides. I mean, like, literally, like, asking the Lord to come get me to stop the ride. Please, like, what have I done? Time on rides and I be hollering. Alright, y'all. I have a good day. I'm gonna end this before I park. Before it's time, so the people can, that's all of my business last week, can know this is not a normal thing for me. I allot 1 hour. When the streets are clear for me, excellent. When they're not, that's when I'm about to play, I guess. All right, peeps. Have a good day, regardless of what's going on.